What's up guys, EJ here, back with another video, and it's time for another top 10 list. My top 10 films of 2001. So let's get straight into it, counting down from number 10. So at number 10 we have Amélie, a brilliant French film directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, of course starring Audrey Tautou, sort of the film that introduced her to the world. Just a joyous movie about a shy waitress who makes this lovely discovery and makes it her mission in life to bring happiness and joy into the people she meets. Just a beautiful film all the way around. I love Audrey Tautou in this. Matthew Kassovitz is also very good. Just a joyous, wonderful film. Yeah, big fan of Audrey Tautou now, and this is the film that really introduced me to her. So that's number 10, Amélie. Okay, number 9, we have the Royal Tenenbaums, Wes Anderson's film. My favorite Wes Anderson movie to date. I still haven't seen Moonrise Kingdom yet, which I've been hearing is getting a lot of good buzz. But this very funny movie about a eccentric family led by Gene Hackman as Royal Tenenbaum, and his 3 brilliant children played by Ben Stiller, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Luke Wilson. Of course, it features all the other Anderson staples like Bill Murray, Angelica Houston, very good as the wife, Danny Glover, Owen Wilson as well. Just a very funny film. All the characters are great, and all the situations as Gene Hackman sort of returns to his family that he got separated from. He and Angelica Houston separate, and all these sort of lies and betrayals come to light in a very funny movie. And yeah, it's still my favorite Wes Anderson film. I like it more than Rushmore and Bottle Rocket and films like that. So that's number 9, The Royal Tenenbaums. Okay, number 8, a pretty controversial film at the time anyway. Some people don't like it. I don't get it why, but that's AI, Artificial Intelligence. Of course, sci-fi epic directed by Steven Spielberg. It was originally going to be directed by Stanley Kubrick, of course, but he passed away. And you can still see some of the Kubrick influences in this film. My 2 favorite directors, Kubrick and Steven Spielberg. But this film about a futuristic society where humans sort of hire and buy robots called mechas to interact with. This family buys a young robot played by Haley Joel Osment for their son as a friend, and of course he gets cast out because he's just too loving, and sort of takes away the love from the regular kid, and he goes off on a great journey with Jude Law and the other mecha, Teddy, a great character in this film. Just great visuals. Brilliant style. I know a lot of people don't care for the ending, the sort of Cinderella fairy queen ending, but I like the ending. I always have. Just a great film. I'm a big fan of Spielberg and sci-fi films like this, and I really love AI, Artificial Intelligence. Okay, number 7, we have Vanilla Sky. Of course, directed by Cameron Crowe, the remake of Open Your Eyes, 1997 Spanish film, which I also have. But I like this film more. Tom Cruise gives a brilliant performance as a wealthy and popular executive who seemingly has it all, and meets Penelope Cruz, who of course starred in the original, and but he gets derailed by an encounter with a former ex-girlfriend played by Cameron Diaz, who's very good in this movie. I was really blown away by Tom Cruise's performance when I saw this. I thought it was really surprising, the risks he took, especially where he wears sort of a mask to cover up his disfigurement through most of the film. Just very trippy. just great mystery, very cool sci-fi film from Cameron Crowe, who's a great director. Of course, he teamed up with Tom Cruise again after they did Jerry Maguire. Uh, Great film from 1996. But Vanilla Sky, just a great film, better than the original in my opinion, from 2001. That's number 7. Okay, number 6, film I'll get some shit for, no doubt, and that is Pearl Harbor. I love Pearl Harbor. I'm a unabashed Michael Bay fan. At least some of his films. I don't really care for the Bad Boy movies that much. The first one's okay, but I love Pearl Harbor. Of course, Michael Bay's over-the-top and extravagant World War II film dealing with the events of December 7th, 1941, when the Japanese attacked the U.S. at Pearl Harbor. You all know the story. I don't need to go into it that much. Of course, Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett play best of friends who want to be fighter pilots for the Air Force, and one goes off to England to fight the Blitz in France and sort of gets lost and left behind. And he, of course, has left his girlfriend behind, a U.S. nurse played by Kate Beckinsale. And then he comes back after being presumed dead and finds his best friend shacked up, of course, with Kate Beckinsale. I love this movie for a couple reasons. One, it introduced us to Kate Beckinsale, who's now a big star. She's beautiful in this movie. I've always been a Ben Affleck fan. I've been defending him for the last 5 or 6 years. I think he's a good dude. Every time I've seen him interviewed, he seems like a good guy. And yeah, he's been in some crappy movies, but he's been in some good ones too. And he's turned into a very good director, which I mentioned a couple weeks ago when I showed The Town. So yeah, I've always liked Ben Affleck. I think he's good in this movie, and the actual Pearl Harbor attack scene is just brilliant. That 45 minutes is some of the best action war filmmaking I've ever seen. One of the few movies I've seen twice in the theaters when it came out. I saw it like opening weekend, and then a week or two later with some friends again. And I never see movies twice really in theaters. And Pearl Harbor is one of the exceptions. So that's number 6. Okay, number 5. Another great war film from that year, and that's Black Hawk Down. Of course, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Josh Hartnett again, Ewan McGregor, Eric Bana, bunch of good actors in this film. Just a great movie about a rescue operation in the capital of Somalia, Mogadishu. U.S. Marines are sent in to extract the U.S. ambassador from a war-torn civil war country, Somalia, based on fact. And of course their helicopter crashes and leaves just a handful of men in the streets of Mogadishu. Just brilliant action scenes. There's no sort of politics on display here. It's just sort of straightforward, in-your-face action movie. All like action movies that are out now these days are sort of compared to this film. Take a film like Battle Los Angeles. It's like Black Hawk Down with aliens. That's what they call it. So Black Hawk Down by Ridley Scott, just a great film. Okay, number 4. Lose count when I do these things. And that's The Man Who Wasn't There. And many of you might be surprised to know that this is my favorite Coen Brothers film. And it's sort of one of their lesser known films. Just a great film noir, starring Billy Bob Thornton, Frances McDormand, and a great performance by James Gandolfini. Thornton plays a barber in 1949 California, sort of lives a very dull and uninteresting life, and Frances McDormand sort of enters the picture, and it's just a great movie. Great to look at, beautiful black and white, and great performances by Frances McDormand and Billy Bob Thornton. just a brilliant film. If you haven't seen this, and not enough people talk about it, The Man Who Wasn't There, number 4. Okay, number 3, and that's A Beautiful Mind. Of course, winner of Best Picture for 2001. And Russell Crowe probably should have won Best Actor that year as well, but he'd won the year before for Gladiator, and he'd also punched out a journalist a few weeks leading up to the Oscars, and many people thought that cost him the Oscar, but he's great as a brilliant mathematician, John Nash, who sort of gets caught up in this CIA espionage plots driven by Ed Harris. Just a beautiful film. Jennifer Connelly, amazing. Of course, she won Best Supporting Actress, and she was very deserving for this performance. She's great in this movie. Ron Howard won Best Director, and of course, he teamed up with a longtime friend, producer Brian Grazer, to create A Beautiful Mind, number 3. Okay, number 2, and I'm cheating, but it's my list. So and I can do what I want, and that's Band of Brothers. Just a brilliant miniseries by HBO, produced by Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg. 10-part miniseries dealing with Easy Company and their exploits during World War II, all the way from basic training up until the end of the war. Main characters include Ron Livingston and Damian Lewis, and some other good cameos. I was checking online to see who else was in this, because it's been a while since I've seen this, and I was surprised to learn that star of the hour, Michael Fassbender, is in 7 episodes, and I don't remember that at all. I do remember David Schwimmer being in a couple of the early episodes as sort of the drill instructor. He was like an a-hole of a character in this series. I was really surprised seeing him in this, and it was quite memorable because he's either a dick or he's treated like a dick. I'm not sure exactly. It's been a long time since I've seen this, but Band of Brothers is just brilliant filmmaking on all levels. Of course, Spielberg and Hanks, who teamed up for Saving Private Ryan, my favorite film of 1998, which I'll get to in God knows when. Do it again with this brilliant miniseries, Band of Brothers, number 2. Okay, number 1, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Peter Jackson did the impossible at the time, and that's take J.R.R. Tolkien's masterpiece and turn it into a thrilling film. It's of course part 1 of the epic Lord of the Rings trilogy, which makes up my favorite film of all time, and just brilliant on so many levels. When I first saw this in the theater, it's still the best theater going experience I've ever had. When I saw it opening day when it came out, I just knew I had to see it opening day, and it was a packed theater, and it just blew me away. The visual style, the characters, the action scenes, the settings, the costumes, everything about it, the music by Howard Shore, and all the props and special effects just blew me away. Great cast, of course. Frodo, played by, I just blanked on his name, Elijah Wood, and of course you have Sean Astin, great as Sam. And of course Ian McKellen, amazing as Gandalf the Grey. I won't name all the characters, you know who they are, but a great cast, and it still remains probably my second favorite of the Lord of the Rings films if I had to break it down. Return of the King being my favorite, but they're all 10 out of 10s for me, obviously, because they're my favorite films of all time. So number 1, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. So that's my top 10 list of 2001. Thank you for watching as always, and glad you guys are enjoying these top 10 lists. Until my next update in hopefully a few days. I've got some cool movies coming this week. I'll see ya.